be doing this with Kyle or Mangler or Lay Devil, but I'm pretty sure they're all busy. And Mangler did not want to react to this video, at least not on a stream, from what I understand. Mangler's the only one who knows anything about the characters. This will be one of the few times where I'm going in probably genuinely blind. It's not often that occurs, but it is what it is. So, Ghost Rider vs. Spawn. I know the G1 blog ended up... the fuck? That's a sound. Oh, never mind. Apparently Kyle is joining us. Hello, Kyle.
Hold on, getting my phone.
Okay, whatever the fuck that means.
Getting our microphone.
Alright. You got a new microphone? So it's a little loud and weird. But that's okay. That's okay. So yeah. From what I remember, the I think I know who the winner is already. I know who the G1 blog sided with, but I have not gone into
that microphone.
Oh, okay, that's better. That's better. Also, hello, Kyle. What are you doing here?
Do I come across clear right now?
You do come across rather clear, yes. But what are you doing here? Hello? Fucker, don't you fucking ignore me. Alright. Well, alright, so it seems he's having technical issues. Oh, he's back. Again. Welcome back, Kyle. Kyle. Kyle, what the fuck is hang on? No, I'll say I know my shit's not the fucking problem. Hello, Azra. How are you doing? Kyle, you back with us? Kyle! Kyle! Anyways, well, while he's apparently suffering through the effects of whatever his new mic is putting him through. So, Death Battle released their new video. As a tradition, we're going to watch it at this point because we're parasites. However, I will say, I don't really know anything about these characters, so this will be a first. Well, I take that back. I know some shit, because you don't know Mangler for as long as I have, and not by proxy learn, like, a plethora of knowledge from just speaking to him over and over again about certain series. So I'm vaguely familiar with Spawn. Probably not as familiar as I need to be, but I'll be fine.
For some reason, my computer just refuses to connect to fucking voice chat.
I'll have to help you with that later, it seems.
Well, it hasn't had that problem before.
Well, you didn't have a new mic before. Alright, well, I'm watching the Death Battle if you want to join me or not. I've already broken down. There's not really much, don't really have much stake in this fight, so we're just gonna see how it goes. I'm sure Mangler's already given his opinion on it. I actually have more to say about the upcoming matchup than I do about this one.
Oh, I don't even fucking rep either of the two characters who are coming up next. I just know who should win.
Yeah, same. Let's hope we have the same answer by the time we're done with this video. What's next? You'll have to see, Ozra. Don't worry, this stream will not be as long as usual because we don't have that much to comment on. If Kyle wants to comment, he can, but it's more or less going to be actual, genuine reaction.
There's not really much for us to react to. Not that it's a nothing episode. It's just that me and Zim know literally nothing about Spawn or Ghost Rider, and nothing in the most literal term possible.
Yeah. So we're about to find out how this goes. Oh, they're a 2D fight. Okay, it's probably for the best. 2D fights are better.
Versus Spawn, the Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armor.
Oh yeah, I actually saw this fight this morning. It's actually a good 2D fight.
They've actually been knocking it out of the park with their 2D fights recently. I should probably fucking...
No, they have not. Some of their 2D fights are absolutely fucking garbage.
I should let Ewan know I'm streaming. Well, from this season, which one would you say is garbage?
Jorno Joker.
Okay, you know what? I actually forgot that matchup existed, so you know what? Fair enough.
I'm pretty sure that's the previous 2D fight.
No, the previous one is Bowser. No, did Bowser come before Jorno?
That's hand-drawn. That's hand-drawn.
Yeah, it's 2D.
No. So, No. So, when I mean... So, okay, let's get this clear. Some of their sprite fights are fucking terrible. Their 2D stuff is usually really, really good, because that's their stuff like Mario and Sonic and, like, Bowser Eggman. This would count as a sprite fight.
Okay, I see. Let us continue.
I'm Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I'm dry right now.
Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson. Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer, heartbroken, and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could: chemotherapy. The devil. Oh!
Can we skip the info? No, Ozra, we're trying to watch the whole death battle. I mean, I guess
we are not. We are not watching just the fucking fight, because this stuff is like.
So
if we skip something, they're going to say something that might come into play that we should know later.
Yes, so it is a reaction, but it's more of an analysis. So we're watching the whole thing. It's not going to take that long. Don't worry.
To cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to Mephisto.
Also, hot take, the original Ghost Rider movie was not bad.
Only for Crash to actually live up to his name right after.
I didn't mind either of them.
Johnny's soul, Mephisto
Ghost Rider 2's problem was it was too grounded in comparison to Ghost Rider 1.
Something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zarathos, the Spirit of Vengeance. So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into
Zarathos
hellfire.
makes
An undead
less
skeleton
sense the
biker
more
with
you
a
learn about
sick-ass hug.
Zarathos.
The fifth scariest Nick Cage performance, the stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil. Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken. Okay, then how about...
I've always said Nick Cage's Ghost Rider wasn't that bad until with Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern was fine. The movie just was the movie was made too early. I think that's the problem with Green Lantern. It came out too soon.
The Ghost.
It's bit funny how it came out like probably 4 or 5 years too soon before CGI actually started taking off and being good.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't forget that we named a character the same thing only 5 years earlier. All you. The Ghost Rider was bad news for Earth sinners and scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers, blow up mountains.
Former Ghost Rider alongside Danny Ketch and Robbie Reyes. I believe one of them might have a different spirit, but again, I'm not too familiar with it.
And cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries. Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical.
Ghost Rider's body's mystical in nature, not subject to ordinary bodily limitations such as fatigue. Attempts to tamper with his biological makeup have proven ineffective. Oh, that's interesting.
Physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him. It's not just his body. His whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of.
I'm pretty sure that's like yes and no. I'm pretty sure soul manipulation has fucked him once or twice.
Probably. No, this is the problem, is that they're probably looking at like the best case of resistance and moving on from there. But I guarantee you, if you really look through, you'll find several cases where that's not.
From an infinite stream of chains, a shotgun.
Oh, I guarantee you, the guy's been around for like nearly 60 years. I guarantee you, he's got his shit kicked in just from regular punches.
Watch Ghost Rider be the only character who's actually been consistent across all media.
rounds, or a flaming missile barbed right out of his mouth. Life goals.
And he can imbue other objects with hellfire,
it's
such
like a
as
movie.
his Hell Cycle.
Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his...
His boner, Wiz. Get it?
So, I actually do know the context for that scene a little bit. So he's talking to a kid he's trying to protect, and the kid asks him, what happened?
His son, right?
No, it's not his son. It's like the vessel for, like, the devil, but, like, he's trying to stop the prophecy from coming true. But so the kid asks him, hey, what happens when you pee as the Ghost Rider? And so Nick Cage basically says that when he pees as the Ghost Rider, it just comes out as hellfire.
Oh, I think what anyone says as well, like the main villain who has the decay ability. I love the scenes where he tries to eat and he's just fucking miserable because everything he tries to eat just rots before he can eat it. So he has to resort to eating Twinkies because they have nothing but preservatives.
Well, so it's not like that is the reason, but he's not upset about it. He's kind of shocked when the Twinkie doesn't fucking disintegrate.
I think he's just happy.
He's just happy he got something.
And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look, the Penance Stare.
The Penance Stare inflicts upon its victims every
I
ounce
think
of
Danny
pain they
Ketch
ever
is
wreaked
an
upon
example of the
others.
first is
Every
always
cruelty,
more
no
memorable.
matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A biblical punishment.
Obliterating your
Danny at the time had absorbed numerous spirits of vengeance to overpower Johnny. Later, Johnny proved to be Danny's superior in combat. I want to make something very fucking clear here. They better bring up all the people who fucking this doesn't work on, or the conditions where they don't work on it. Because if I remember correctly,
What, you mean like the Punisher?
Yeah, the Penance Stare doesn't work on the Punisher. It also doesn't work on Thanos either.
soul. It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the Penance Stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher,
Okay.
supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can.
Yeah,
adjust
but
how-
this is where I hate when they talk about multiple different like comic runs where it's like, okay, what universe is this? What run was the Punisher in? Because sometimes the Punisher is remorseful, sometimes he's not.
Yeah, that is true.
how deadly it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost
Yeah, the Penance Stare. This Penance Stare is an inconsistent ability, but I do like that they mentioned Deadpool, but it's not Deadpool specifically. It's insane people. It doesn't work on the criminally insane.
This might be a bit of like Mandela effect, but
So look,
I remember it not working on the Hulk as well for some reason.
probably because the Hulk doesn't fucking care either. It's probably the argument they went with.
Rider is two souls in one body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Or Venom. Did I just start? Technically, yes. It's been a few minutes, but yeah, we're just 3 minutes into the video so far. We just gone over Ghost Rider stuff right now.
Classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Zarathos' strength is
Asgard is shown to be a higher dimensional space. Interesting position. And beyond the final universe, as the Marvel Multiverse contains an infinite universe, that means Asgard's distance from Earth is infinite.
Boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, pen and stare an entire city, and fly all the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled some of Marvel's
Source of
Okay, so infinite speed. Fantastic.
No, they'll never say that. Source of Ghost Rider's power, Dean physiology, nature manipulation, magical energy manipulation, other host, Alejandro drones, the Hood, a single mother. That one needs some context.
heaviest
Zarathos possibly an angel? I'm pretty sure Zarathos was retconned to be an angel.
hitters like Thor, World War Hulk, and
It
Doctor
wasn't
Strange.
retcon to literally be an angel that Mephisto fucking kidnapped from heaven and then tortured him.
I'm pretty sure that's what Zarathos is canonically, yes.
Marvel's heaviest hitters like Thor, World War
I'm pretty sure World War Hulk beat Ghost Rider in that fight. I'm pretty sure World War Hulk won that fight.
Hulk, and
Yeah, because
Doctor
it isn't the way World War Hulk ended. Was he got stalemated by Sentry?
No. So yes and no. You're technically right. So the way World War Hulk loses in the end is Sentry stalemates him, but Hulk gets back up, but he's a lot more calm now. And then Hulk finds out that the people who killed his family were his own friends. Hello, Aviator. And so, not the Illuminati, but like his like alien friends. So the Hulk ends up going insane with rage, and in that moment, and this is the stupidest retcon in the whole fucking comic. So, to clarify, Hulk has beaten the shit out of all of the Illuminati and made them like gladiator slaves. But in that moment, as Hulk's power is gonna reach its peak and kill everybody, he screams to Tony, "Tony, I know you still have something up your sleeve. You better use it right fucking now." So Tony runs to the Hulk and basically blasts them both with a satellite beam, and it shuts him down. It was the stupidest retcon, and also technically the satellite absorbed gamma radiation and sent it to the Red Hulk, but that's another story altogether.
Strange. Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power
But that power is ultimately proved too unstable. Over time, corrupts the host, drives the man, sends them. Sorry, I'm sure you've seen this. You know, I speak of that power in the wrong hands could threaten all of existence.
of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits of vengeance are legion.
As far back
Okay,
as the
so
great
with that context in mind, is he talking about Zarathos himself, or is it the army of Ghost Riders?
In the context of that one, it should be Zarathos himself. Although you could argue that every Ghost Rider has a portion of Zarathos' power. I didn't see this. Who won? Not sure, Aviator. That's why I'm watching it. Is Delson Rose stronger than Cole McGrath or not? Kyle, quickly go.
You'll get that eventually.
Oh, say, didn't you make a video for that already?
No, because I'm fucking taking a break from Infamous. Let me have at least a year's break from Infamous.
Dark Lord come back in a year to ask him that. While the first Heavenly Spirits of Vengeance emerged after the Great Flood, Mephisto has been creating them even earlier. The first recorded Ghost Rider appeared in 1 billion BC and teamed up with the young Odin and the first Iron Fist. 9 and 5 bits and they're already telling BS? No. Okay, so me and Kyle don't know much about Ghost Rider and Spawn, so we're just mainly reacting to what they're telling us.
blood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth. A sort of heavenly black ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear.
So,
What we do know is that
do you
ages
want to take
ago-
this, or should I take this about what's basically the difference between an angel and a devil?
You mean how there's really no difference?
Except for, like, which angels got sent to hell during the rebellion?
So, I guess to clarify, depending on the mythology, all demons are angels, and all angels are just not demons. But, so the way it worked in the original mythology is someone rebels in heaven, most stories it's Lucifer, and then afterwards, the people with Lucifer get fucking smacked the fuck down by God and Michael, and they end up becoming the first demons. Now, I think in the lore, technically, demons are not just angels, but there's not much difference between like original demons and angels.
Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore, hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book fan punching bag though he may be, Mephisto.
Hey, to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book fan
Dude, have you seen Biblically Accurate Angels? Yeah.
punching bag though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably powerful. A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon, fitting.
Mephisto's not...
Again.
Go ahead.
Again, so this is the problem. You can see the ages of comics that they're jumping to try and get this power scale, which is why I never fucking touch Marvel. Because it's always going to be super disingenuous, because we don't know if this is how things are still perceived now in the lore. Because things have been retconned and the universes have been reset.
I'm going to clarify for the record, if you believe Mephisto is this strong, it makes no sense for him to be threatened by the Beyonders or by higher cosmic beings. And I want to be clear that Galactus in his base form stalemates Mephisto in his own realm, which is where he's the most powerful. Just going to keep it on his
No, but if that's what I stated earlier, it's like, I've always found it super disingenuous that people will pull shit from like 50 years ago and then will still argue for stuff mattering like 2 years ago. It's like, no, fuck off. They're obviously not the same thing. Where's the context of like what the fuck has changed? Because it's not all one continuous story.
Unless you want to be DC and argue that all continuities are now canon to one Superman. Mephisto's multi at best. No, I think Mephisto's a little stronger than multi-universal. I think multiversal is fine for Mephisto in his realm. It's just that, like, let's be clear here. So to clarify just how awkward Mephisto is, the reason I talked about this, I think, on one of the other Death Battles. The reason Mephisto won't let Spider-Man and Mary Jane have a kid is because their daughter is supposed to kill Mephisto after he conquers the Earth. Spider-Man kills Mephisto, and that's why he doesn't let them get married. I don't want to hear about this omniversal bullshit, unless you're ready to admit that Spider-Man's omniversal, but people aren't ready for that conversation yet, so, we're not going to have that conversation.
As his fight with
Well,
Galactus.
are you ready for Spider-Man's daughter and Franklin Richards to have a child?
Rent the
A
Cosmos.
fucking powerhouse that'll come out of that.
History and plans boost the erosion and constellation strategy of very stars themselves.
And Galactus' fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal.
See,
I'm pretty sure
this is
Mephisto
because
lost that fight too, by the way.
Multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic.
I don't like repeating stuff, but like I think Zim can see my problem when they try and like bring shit like this up, and it's just like, why? Choose a Ghost Rider story. Don't try and do everything, because then it gets hard to pick like what versions of what's actually like mattering and what's not.
Comics are the worst thing the power scale by far, just because of that situation, exactly.
Annihilation.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade.
As King of Hell, Johnny breaks through a million different enchantments placed by Doctor Strange and Wong and harmed Lilith, who planned to merge all the netherworlds. Okay, see, that's more recent.
Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons.
Outspent Mjolnir, survived battling World War Hulk. Oh, see right there? See right there? Survived battling World War Hulk. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure World War Hulk won that fight. That's not even the strongest version of Hulk. Used Panster on the whole city, took a missile that would have destroyed the angel St. Michael. Context? I feel like that one needs a bit of context, but okay. Fought the Avengers to a standstill. Everyone fights the Avengers to a fucking standstill.
No, I like how they put the fates, fought the Avengers, used the Panzer on the whole city. It's like, cool, I don't give a fuck about his range. you literally just got through talking about how he's able to basically bend Mephisto over who can fight Odin, the Silver Surfer, and Galactus. I think that's a little bit better than fought the Avengers.
But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off of it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by Hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable...
Come on, guys. Tony Stark with Prep Time Go Burr. To be fair, Tony Stark actually beat World War Hulk, unlike Ghost Rider.
Engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
Cause they sure as hell won't find any in his.
Alright, so now my
This battle is
entire
sponsored-
knowledge of comics goes off the fucking cliff because I
If
know
Al Simmons was
nothing
one
about
thing,
Spawn.
he was a killer.
Everything I'm gonna spout is gonna be something Mangler might have told me, but like, yeah.
The U.S. Army
Yeah,
and the
anything
CIA
that's
both
mentioned
decorated a
is anything like secondhand of what I remember what Mangler told me. So this is less than reliable, what I would say.
Yes.
assassin. Simmons upheld democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world in red, white, and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because Al's
The Spawn
immortal
movie was
soul
good,
was
too.
on a one-way
It was
trip to
fine.
hell.
Where he cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th Circle of Hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking to get monkey's bud.
Al Simmons returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell
That sounds
itself,
like something you'd say.
Spawn.
Wow, Kyle. Yeah, you're right.
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his edge wizard.
Longest running independent comic book character. Is Spawn still? I think you mentioned the other day that Spawn might still be going on, right?
If it's still going on, I'm pretty sure it's still one story, so Spawn's different. Series like Spawn and Invincible aren't technically impossible to go through because at least they're one continuous story.
Hold up. Cyber, well, it's nice to see you again. We're currently watching a death battle.
Hello.
Hello, Cyber. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I'm just going to say one quick thing, and then I'm going to dip.
All right.
Unfortunately, the episode had a minor edit occur because of YouTube's stupid age restriction thing. There is a curse that was like a really good line in the animation that had to be cut. You'll probably notice it. It's not bad, but it's like it feels incomplete. And if you don't notice it, I'll point it out to you later.
All right. Sounds good, man.
I'm gonna dip and rewatch your stream, but man, that disappointed me. Like the video would be like at over 1 million if it wasn't for that stupid age restriction.
All right. We'll see if we spot it then. But you and I need to have a talk about the next matchup later, Cyber. I need your information before I fucking rant about it.
It's so well. You'll call if I'm still awake. Anyways, adios. Enjoy.
Thank you, Cyber. Appreciate it. Well, oh yeah, age restricted. Huh. You know, I was kind of wondering why this death battle wasn't at 1 million views yet.
And despair.
Spawn.
Only this one is age restricted?
Yeah, I think so. Come on, alright. So, let's continue.
Violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic
You know, can
power.
I actually just say I'm surprised they get away with so much movie clip footage for the Spawn movie? Is the Spawn movie not, like, copyright enforced?
powers. He's like a walking superpower.
Was it done by Warner Brothers?
encyclopedia.
I believe it was. That's
He
MK1.
can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast,
With all concept of time obliterated, Spawn's ethereal presence breaks the black veil.
he literally breaks into other
Oh, okay.
dimensions
So
and smashes.
what's that? Inaccessible.
Mm,
Or immeasurable.
Hang on, let me see what they have to say first.
Of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can manipulate
So they're claiming he moves so fast he can go into other dimensions and smash time as a concept. So that's
Okay,
technically
I don't care.
immeasurable.
Okay, I don't care how fast the Mjolnir feat is while flying to Asgard. That's infinitely faster than Ghost Rider.
So if we just take what they said at face value, Ghost Rider would have infinite speed, but Spawn would have inaccessible to immeasurable, which means he would just be vastly faster than Ghost Rider. So at this point, there's no reason Spawn should lose.
matter, shape-shifting his own body or transmuting other objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malebolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself...
Okay, you know what? The
Yeah,
writer responds
you-
good sense of humor.
Can you edit out his face and just put Uncle Ruckus there?
Fuck, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's petty trolling like that gets you thrown in
That was a troll move if I ever saw one.
hell.
To be fair,
Yeah.
Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not wrong. Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered
Yeah,
by the sins of others.
it's just generic
Spawn
demonic
can
energy
absorb
does
your
everything.
evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers instantly, cleansing them of their evil.
Like Jesus?
Or he can do the reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins, feeling every bit of pain you've ever inflicted on others over your whole life.
Like
What the
some
fuck?
sort of penance.
The
Is-
Spawn's
what the fuck's the
necroplasm
context
comes
for
with
that
a
one?
catch.
Yeah, he's got unlimited.
So he's
boundless
basically got his own
and it
penance there.
drains every time he uses his powers. If he runs out, he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
Okay. Why are they using non-canon crossovers?
To be fair, when it comes to Image Comics, I think they're a little weirder about canonicity with crossovers. Because technically, Invincible crossing over into Marvel and DC is canon to Invincible.
Does he get anything from that?
Well, apparently they're scaling him to Batman's techniques and skill, but again, not to be that guy.
Oh, wait.
Batman
Depending on how you want to do this, during the Invincible War, he kills, or at least able to fight Spawn. So you could argue a version of him is skilled enough in combat to fuck up Batman.
No, because again, it depends on the character and the arc. Because we don't know if this is a Batman who's supposed to be a master martial artist, or if this is a Batman who's just a fucking gruff fighting people. Because there are differences. There are different versions of Batman where he's not the fucking god tier martial artist people make him out to be. I'd also like to point out that Batman loses fights to characters like fucking Two-Face and fucking Bane sometimes, but Bane's actually a good fighter though.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red?
You know, I've always
Oh,
wondered
well,
what the
now
like,
you
what
are,
the
and it's
fucking
red
cape
because
is.
it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's literally made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for good measure.
K7 Letha is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helped Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the soul's bonded to
Okay.
Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if the...
Okay, so I'd like to point out that Spawn literally technically beat God in a fight, so I don't know how valid this is.
Decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own... how do I put this? Stupidity.
So Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe...
Okay, so to clarify, Angela is a Marvel character. So... Once activated, sets up a dimensional resonance that will lance the Hellspawn from this level of existence like pus from a boil.
wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so, Spawn was forever destroyed, until he reconfigured reality to undo his own inexistence.
There we are, good.
Oh, okay, so then Ghost Rider has no way to fucking kill him.
Yeah, alright, so Ghost Rider just loses.
This just feels like that Spawn is a stronger Ghost Rider. With more hacks.
Alright, Kratos fanboys, I want you to step in and tell me how Kratos wins. Ah, he's back. Hello, Cyber. Welcome back.
Pause. Angela is not a Marvel character. Well, she is, but she's not. So she started as an Image Comics character, but because of lawsuit shenanigans, legal issues, Marvel eventually gained custody of Angela as a character, and they retcon her history as to being family with Thor. So no, Angela is not a... Well, she didn't start as a Marvel character. She started as an Image character.
Alright, fair enough. I only said she was a Marvel character because she's a card in Marvel Snap.
All right, sure.
Alright. Oh, you know what? I wonder if that's what this black box is supposed to explain. Because it says instead of the spear erasing Spawn, Spawn instinctively reflected the power back at the spear itself, erasing it and its wither from reality. Okay, so then I guess what happens is in this scene, Spawn dies to the spear, but instinctively reflects the blast back, preventing his own destruction. Because God of Olympus go burr. Because God in the name.
I've seen someone...
That is still an absurdly disgusting ability.
And this is a character who presumably can't break the fourth wall. As far as I know, they're not aware of being in the comic. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to check with either Mangler or Cyber later on. But, that's...
Slap him in the back of the head. How'd you lose the fucking Invincible?
accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn. He's even encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might
His name is Invincible.
seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Malvosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn
Can comic Invincible scale Spawn? Possibly.
marched down to hell and ripped Malfosia's head off with a scream so loud it echoed through all of reality. Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of hell.
As king, Spawn is literally a part of hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool
So
of energy.
this is where I need to talk to Mangler. It's just like, how much of this stuff is actually still viable for him now, and how much is this of them trying to composite powers of forms that he doesn't have access to anymore?
From what I understand, Divine Spawn he doesn't have anymore. Hell King Spawn he doesn't have anymore. But presumably all the powers prior to would be valid. Presumably, but that would have to be a Mangler situation.
100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong,
That-
the only thing left
Have they pronounced that wrong?
How are you supposed to pronounce it?
Mamone.
That's how I thought it would be pronounced, but
was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this god and Satan to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the Tree of Life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control.
Satan controls those forces and will reclaim those which were his creation to start with. It's true you're not per war material, but hey, I created heaven and most of the good stuff on Earth, so I should be able to work something here. Infinity away, the bleakness of the Hell's 8th level, a king cackles. This patch of infinity just to the left of the precious light is now a harvest ground for a divine Lord. See, the 10 hills, 7 heavens consist of infinite layers.
Okay, so if I remember correctly from what Mangler told me, the way Hell works, Hell is as big as an individual soul perceives it to be.
Now, welcome back, Cyber.
I think I'm late to answer one of your questions, but it's more so like Hell King for Ghost Rider is also like not something Johnny has anymore.
Yeah.
And Zarathos is kind of like an on and off thing. He's had Zarathos, lost him, and then had him again.
Yeah.
So both are kind of like getting their most iconic states. It's true that like Spawn doesn't have King of Hell anymore, or even Divine. You can make an argument in base he's as strong as Divine, maybe, or downscales nowadays. But I digress. The point is, they're both getting like their most iconic states. I'd argue Divine far more well known amongst casuals than even like King of Hell Spawn, but they're both iconic in a way.
I would agree.
So they're both kind of getting non-standard forms in a way. Like Zarathos is probably like amongst all four of the discussed, Zarathos is like the most standard because Johnny has had him a long time, and like I said, it comes and goes. Like he's lost as Zarathos though is the point, like more than once if I'm not mistaken, at least once. But like I said, they're both getting like non-standard forms, so it kind of two like King of Hell, Zarathos, and King of Hell and Divine.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, adios.
All right. Thank you, Cyber. All right. I'll have to send this picture to someone else later because you guys didn't see that, right? All right. So regarding this scene in particular, this one actually, I do remember Mangler told me, and we'll see if Cyber's correcting me depending on how this information goes as we go on. Spawn doesn't technically fight them. They beat the shit out of Spawn. They destroy him until the mother of all things steps in. That's what I believe Mangler told me.
On top of like
At least
the black box, Mangler told me that like Hell isn't technically infinite in size. It's as big as a soul wants to perceive it to be.
Yeah,
So
but
it's really weird how you want to interpret that.
Heaven, I think, is fair game for Infinite.
universes.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
By letting them destroy him. Okay, kind of interesting position. I wonder.
I want to see if Mangler agrees with that, because I remember him not agreeing with that.
They might be using the term letting here, as in like he sacrificed himself for the greater good, rather than.
I see.
Yeah.
I let him stab me to death.
I'm not excusing their language. I'm just saying that's probably what they're like using it as, assuming Mangler's information was correct, which I have faith in Mangler.
Just like
My
that
memory
time
could be off though.
with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth. Poof, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human. But he knew in his heart he deserved
Okay, so
to carry on
not,
his...
not to be nitpicky, but Spawn's face look better than what they gave Ghost Rider just on this page.
Yeah. I have a better question though. How the fuck did this guy remake all of creation, or I guess the universe, and still made a shitty planet Earth? Actual fucking clown. Imagine having the power to remake the universe and you don't fix some of the problems.
Imagine if he was going off the same logic as the architect from the fucking Matrix, where it's just like, I could have made a good world, but humans would have rejected it.
Actual clown show. I don't care if he wins. Actual clown.
Undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can angstily brood over the injustice of his own existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware. Because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
Pretty sure Spawn lost to Superman.
This
in a
battle is
fight.
sponsored by
Alright, well I don't care about gambling, so let's do this.
Nights like these drive men insane.
I feel like he fought the darkness too at one point, but I could
Yeah.
be wrong.
Yeah, Superman fought the darkness and that was to a stand.
No, I mean Spawn.
Oh. Spawn should take that one.
Yeah, something's coming.
No, I just mean in the comics. Like, no, I'm not asking who would win that. I feel like they have.
There'll be hell to
They
pay.
probably have.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Spawn has a good voice actor and Ghost Rider beats
Spawn's voice is a little bit big, just because I like Big Face.
If you care, it's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
I think this is the one of the original animations. I think right?
Sloppy, you fight like a bum.
Whoever actually did the rights here is,
It's smooth as fuck.
yeah. Wait.
Welcome to hell.
For a second, I thought they used the crossover Evil Spawn, but no, it wasn't. It didn't. Wait. You're telling me Ghost Rider can't deal with time manipulation? I mean, they didn't say he could, but that just seems so weird.
That sounds wrong.
Yeah.
The vestments of the holy cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid.
I think that's where the line got cut, because I'm pretty sure God forbid leads up to a different line. Because that's usually how people use God forbid. It's like you use it as a setup or something.
I really dig wherever he moves, it looks like heaven.
Yeah.
Al Simmons, your sins are innumerable. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul. I eat sin for breakfast. Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
Oh, that's plain.
It's like you said, nothing personal, asshole.
KO! God damn!
Literally. This was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility. Let's break this down into 4 categories.
First up, power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zarathos was different. Remember, his
Spawn can affect infinite timelines and bulk spaces just as the overlap, but Zarathos is a threat to an infinite number of infinite multiverses, infinite timelines, higher dimensions, transcendent realms, and the bulk space connecting them. Yeah, that's fair.
power can match that
So
of
are
Mephisto
we going
and
to have a
Galactus.
situation where, by all rights, Ghost Rider is infinitely more powerful, but because he's infinitely slower, he would never touch him?
We're gonna see what they say, but I think this fight goes down to Ghost Rider is stronger, but Spawn has way more hacks and is faster. That's what I'm gonna assume they're going with. They might even argue
So they basically finally acknowledge AP is not everything. You could have a massive AP advantage and still get the shit kicked out of you if somebody has more hacks and is faster.
Well, we'll see what they say. We'll see what they say because they might give it like a 50-50 here, but they should be giving this to
who
Ghost
can
Rider.
threaten all of Marvel's infinite cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is a master martial artist, whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream
Johnny Blaze once claimed only God can destroy Ghost Riders permanently. However, as shown in Ghost Rider 281 and Ghost Rider Danny Ketch number 3, separating Spirit of Vengeance from the host is fatal to the former, regardless of God's involvement.
Okay, so he gets fucked over by soul manipulation.
Apparently. Although I'm gonna say, like, so what's the argument for Zarathos' experience? Are we just going with Johnny Blaze because like Zarathos is like hard to carry
power
this
for a
fight, so.
stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison. Spawn had a huge advantage in this
Okay,
fight.
so they're basically just saying that Spawn hack stomped him into the ground as well.
They're not covering speed this time. Oh, that's kind of weird.
No, I know why, because they don't want to acknowledge or go over infinite speed versus inaccessible and immeasurable.
Yeah, but it's still weird though.
Oh, with his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of
Spawn also twice survived the fourth layer of hell, which subjects his soul to its own sins like the penance stare.
humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the penance stare, just like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
Best of all, remember the time he rewrote reality to
So, I don't know if Urizen is actually pronounced Urizen. I know that's how it's pronounced in DMC, but I don't know if that's how it was supposed to be pronounced originally. It's not a big deal, just a minor note there.
undo his own inexistence?
Yeah, the second they fucking said Spawn basically brought himself back from being erased, I think me and Kyle both knew that there was no way Ghost Rider was winning this fight.
Oh, absolutely not, because when you basically just said they basically just respawned like it was a game, yeah, no way.
There was nothing the Ghost
Because
Rider
then,
could
like,
do to
no
overcome
matter what the Ghost Rider did, all he had to do was undo the result of what just happened.
Yeah. There was no scenario where that was ending well.
power that. And that time
For
with the
Ghost
lance
Rider.
wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good? Well, you can't. At least Johnny and Zarathos couldn't.
Unlike how Ghost Rider's soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually...
Okay, so, you know what? I I think I understand why they did Spawn for Ghost Rider, because if they did this for the Demi-Fiend is going to get fucked 7 ways to Sunday. And doing the Ghost Rider is a closer fight.
I'm actually going to give a hot take here. That's going to depend heavily on where you would scale SMT.
If you're truthful, it would be Uni Plus.
Yeah.
For individual antagonists.
Demi-Fiend is hacks as fuck. Yeah, but nothing that would let him kill Spawn. But that being said, I think Spawn would just lose a battle of attrition to the Demi-Fiend, which sounds really weird to say.
Happens a lot.
Assuming we scale them comparable to each other, but as far as I see, there's no reason to right now. Mephisto claims stealing Ghost Rider's soul would be difficult, but only through trickery. In Ghost Rider 06, Danny stole Spirit of Vengeance from Ghost Riders worldwide, including Johnny. Johnny's soul has also been stolen by Moon. Yeah, so it's just spirit manipulation.
Even
His subjective reality is very busted. Okay, hold on now.
in recent
Not the time for that. Can Dante defeat Spawn? I'd have to see where Spawn actually scales into his AP, but based on those hexes he has, that one might be closer to a stalemate. However,
Not impossible. Not impossible. That's more of a Mangler question.
that'd be more of a Mangler question to go into like a super in-depth discussion on that one, but that's a possibility. I will say though, just based on that hacks alone, it's definitely feeling like it would be a stalemate.
comics,
Well, assuming you believe that Spawn doesn't just outscale Dante.
The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just think about that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand, actively helped Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets a literal infinite power boost.
And it wasn't just
Okay, so to clarify, I believe that's only for Hell King.
Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets a literal infinite.
Oh, it also kind of depends. How anal do you want to be about this? If he's going to use it, wouldn't he just send him to Marvel Hell?
That's fair. But no, yeah, just a little anal there on that one, technically. But
I mean, I understand the point they're going with, but I think you could probably be an ass and nitpick that.
hot take: why would we assume the pen stare works on Zarathos if it didn't work on Thanos? Thanos isn't insane. Thanos literally looked at all the pain he caused and smiled the whole time. Why would Zarathos be any different?
Wasn't it because didn't they say earlier in the episode that his brother used it on fucking Zarathos or himself, and that
No,
got him
he used it on Johnny to depower him, but they're claiming using it on Zarathos. I'm suggesting that if we're going to include all these comic shenanigans, there's an argument that Zarathos doesn't even care about the pen stare damage because he's perfectly fine with it. That's an argument.
Power boost.
and it wasn't just Spawn's soul.
Rogue absorbing Zarathos allowed him to briefly control her, but Letha can control the soul, body, and mind of her host. Given Al constantly resists her, he could similarly resist Zarathos' control. That's gonna be a scale question. Like you're gonna have to argue it's 1-to-1 scale there.
So this is actually a better question of like, that's not a bad thing to bring up, but is Ghost Rider's possession based on AP or is it like a hacks thing?
Yeah, that one's a little more nuanced, but I'll give Death Battle credit. That's a good thing to bring up.
Powers that'd spell trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge.
Bro, why are we acting like...
Zarathos was
Okay, here we go. Matching speed! Okay, Death Battle, okay!
Well, do you think that they're going to say you could give Spawn immeasurable speed, but because he could deal with people like Galactus, that should also be like immeasurable?
They'd probably argue that. Okay, so this was the final results. Ghost Rider's far stronger, have matching speed, and capable of killing Spawn. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep in Osbuck for a minute. I'd have to see if Spawn's died in this comic and when, because are we really just arguing Spawn can't be killed by heavenly weapons? Because
I don't know if Mengler told you this, but Mengler told me that like Spawn gets the shit kicked out of him all the time.
no, yeah, if you hear Mangler talk about Spawn, Spawn is the most hacks fodder character in fiction.
He gets the shit kicked out of him by everyone.
Spawn, more versatile, can regenerate from anything Rider does, multiple ways to bypass Rider's immortality, matching speed, far weaker.
This just sounds like everything is equal but AP, but Spawn has so much better hacks that the AP doesn't matter.
To be fair, I believe that's also what the G1 blog ended up going with, because I believe they gave it to Spawn for his hacks as well. Also, welcome back, Cyber.
Hello.
Hello.
So to answer some questions, it actually was not God forbid. It was actually Welcome to Hell. They cut out the full line was something like this: "Welcome to hell, motherfucker." That was the full line, and it was a reference to I can't remember his name. It had to be cut out, unfortunately. Also,
So weird.
when they said he ripped off Malbogia's head in the analysis, like in the section for Spawn, the quote was "ripped off, fucking ripped off Malbogia's head" or something like that. So both F words had to be basically neutered.
Wait, why were those cut off? But
I have no clue. I'm gonna be
Asmol was fine.
Yeah.
Apparently, some other YouTuber named Vanos had like a Christmas special where he dropped a motherfucker 4 times in a row, and he like got like age restricted for like 4 times or something like that.
Cavils him. Our streams might get age restricted.
Oh no.
YouTube, they're inconsistent as hell. So to answer some questions, I guess, Zarathos dealing with the penance there. It's more like in general, like Spirits of Vengeance just don't have a shown resistance to it. Like even recently, Ghost Rider got screwed over by soul hacks during like the period of this comic, like this being announced. Like a recent comic that just came out had him be screwed over by soul hacks. Like Johnny is like the living L of resistances when it comes to soul hacks. It's really weird. G1 blog. I can't believe I'm saying this. So some of the resistances argued for Johnny on that blog are kind of, for lack of better terms, just like not true. Some of them are kind of stretched. Not gonna lie. But it's more so that like Thanos resisting it is kind of weird. It's kind of like the penance there is inconsistent. It has like there's like a letter from the 90s regarding some of the writers, and they were asked how it works, and it's like it's not supposed to be based around regret or something like that, but other writers have interpreted it to be based around regret. So just because Thanos resists it doesn't inherently mean, I would say, Zarathos could. It literally just comes down to the writer. Like the penance there is like one of the most inconsistent abilities in Marvel.
That's fair.
What were some other questions? Oh yeah, speed equalization. I think it's a combination of twofold. You can argue it's like maybe some of DB might see it as like infinite or immeasurable or like considerable, or vice versa. What Balrog brought up, which is
Fighting Galactus.
that like Galactus or other characters that are like would have basically similar like feats to Spawn of like with the whole like bypassing the concept of time or whatnot. So it's like either way works. It really doesn't matter. It like you would just say that like base. If you want to go with the whole immeasurable over infinite, which is fair, then like Spawn in general would just be significantly faster than base Ghost Rider, or like King of Hell, or more like importantly Zarathos would just be like comparable, or at least like in the same tier. If you want to argue higher into immeasurable, if you want to do that, be my guest. But like they would still be in the same tier is what I'm getting at.
So basically, the conclusion they came to is just that Spawn just hacks Thompson from dirt.
Basically, Spawn is like weaker in AP than Zarathos. If you want to highball Spawn to oblivion, it's still just not enough to match Zarthos, but it doesn't really matter. Zarthos is just not good with soul hack showings and like power null. There's like a comic where like Centurion, I think was his name, or
Century.
something like that. Yeah, split Johnny from Zarthos, and Zarthos gets all like prideful. Oh yeah, now I'm going to show you my true power, and then like every second that passes, he gets weaker, and he gets so weak. Because the problem is he's cursed, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like initial split, he's at full power, and then like literally every second that passes in real time, he gets significantly weaker until he gets bollywopped, basically one shot. So it's like splitting the Spirit of Vengeance from their host is like not a good idea for the Spirit of Vengeance or for Ghost Rider.
So
Um,
Ghost Rider just has a lot more weaknesses than his supporters would let you into, is what it sounds like. The man sounds like he's House of Cards.
Basically. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Robbie Reyes actually has really good showings as of recent. He has a super form called the All Rider, which empowered a planet to survive what was known as a omniversal tsunami of so like the omniversal tsunami was it was from Aaron's Avengers run, which it's not a good run, especially its ending. But anyways, the tsunami has a lot of Pax properties: transmutation, soul destruction, yada yada yada. Robbie's power like empowered this planet to survive and resist all the effects of the tsunami, and they backscale to Robbie himself, whereas unfortunately Johnny can't scale to Robbie. So if you swap them out, Robbie would probably kick Spawn's ass, or at least like would resist everything Spawn has just because of his All Rider form.
Okay, so that sounds cool, but I do have a question regarding because you might know more details about this one than we would. Regarding Spawn's like cosmic reset of his own erasure, is there any information around that like says he can't use that more often, or was that like what's the situation there if you know about that one?
Are you referring to the lance?
I'm referring to where it says that Spawn. They said that Spawn got erased with the lance from Angela, but that he instinctively brought himself back and erased her.
That
I
is
guess.
legit. But that was also, you can argue, it's early Todd McFarlane writing, which is more like doesn't like
So a very
it's kind of
inconsistent showing then is what you would say.
well, you can still argue it's a case, especially with Divine, especially with what happens with Satan and God, because like Satan and God like he initially sort of matches them, quote unquote, quotation marks, but he knows that it's like pointless. He's not going to win that, and defeating them doesn't break the cycle. So he basically lets himself lose, comes back into existence. The mother of Gaia basically like finishes the job by having Satan and God in like a split reality where they're basically fighting. And then of course you have they didn't touch upon much on this because like Spawn is an ongoing storyline, right? So like well past after this, I'm probably gonna misspell or say, I'm just gonna say how they said Mammon is what I'm gonna say. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. He was the main antagonist after the events with God and Satan. And if I'm not mistaken to recall, it regarded Al's daughter as well, which at the end of that storyline, Al just basically killed himself and decided to stay in hell. He was replaced by another character for a while with Letha, and then Letha ended up being like the main antagonist for a while. And then eventually there was a reboot, sort of reboot. It's not a full reboot. The events of like the other stuff that happened is still canon, but like God is kind of rewritten in a way, like, and Satan was brought back into the fold. Basically, like Spawn was given a slightly new design. The Sword of this. One thing that did disappoint me about the episode is they didn't go much into the Sword of the Spirit. The Sword of the Spirit is basically a holy weapon. It is literally the word of God as a blade, and it can be used in battle against like Satan. If it's destroyed, Al can just like from one piece of a chain produced by Letha, he can recreate the sword. And the way he beat Satan in their fight was not traditional, but can still maybe be backscaled to him. So what ended up happening was for in a deal for the soul of his wife who died unfortunately during this conflict.
Yeah.
Satan made a deal. So the deal was this: Al takes Letha off. Satan gets custody of Letha. Al is free to leave hell. Satan, being the piece of crap he is, follows up on most of this deal except for that last part, and was going to have a demon follow and kill Al. And that's where Al shows the ability. Oh yeah, I can totally recreate the sword from just a piece of a chain. And then he has Letha overload and explode in Satan's hand like a necro, basically like kamikaze. It kills Satan. So he eventually regained Letha, but it's like the way he beat Letha was just basically have like Letha kamikaze itself and kill Satan, and it like nuked Satan out of existence.
Fucking weird.
The more you talk about the Spawn storyline, I'm just like, maybe I will read it, and I'm just like, no, I'll stick to my manga.
Oh, hang on. Let me read the chat real quickly. And then Robbie spent years inside the tsunami source just rebuilding his car so he can get back to a place the Phoenix said would kill her host if they touched for too long.
I mean, that is the case if I recall, but it's like still Robbie has way better like resistance showing than Johnny. I think like Robbie would give probably Spawn a run for his money, at least like with All Right, or not in base. Absolutely not in base.
I mean, that's
unfortunately, Robbie also has a really bad penance there showing. He was amped at the time, and then because of Civil War II's writing, Captain Marvel somehow like null sold it. Oh yeah, I'm tired of blaming myself. I hate her writing in that storyline, but yeah, no, she like no sell as an amped Robbie Reyes as like penance there.
So just the move this on a little bit faster. I want to know your thoughts on the next matchup. I think Shigaraki should win this.
I can't speak too much of it, honestly, just out of courtesy. What I can say is I feel like a lot of people have not read the final, I want to say, 20 chapters. No, because, let's say 30 chapters. Like 400 and onwards. A lot of people, I feel like, have not read those chapters. They're instrumental for the matchup itself, I feel.
So basically, like what I asked on Discord, if he had like a hate shield around his fucking skull, then Mahito can't do anything, even if he traps him inside the domain.
No, that's not how that works.
Again, I can't really speak to it. I apologize on that front. I will say I'm hyped for it. Really hyped.
Well, can you answer one question for me? Because I'm not too sure. Does he have soul manipulation? If you can't answer that, that's fine. I'm just curious because I don't remember if My Hero Academia ever mentioned souls.
I can't speak on if he has souls. I can speak on that vestiges are very much compared to souls.
Okay. Oh, okay. No, I see. Okay, fair enough.
There's an interesting. Of all things, people don't read Vigilantes, and they really should. There's a really cool moment in Vigilantes where, like, two of the characters are thought to be dead, and then, like, they seem to, like, interact with the main character, and you think he's hallucinating, and one of those stereotypical hallucinations of, like, oh, it's like, he thinks he's like, maybe, like, in a half-dead state himself, and he thinks, like, he's seeing his friends. It's much more literal than that. The moment they're resuscitated in real time, their vestiges or their whatever it was that's talking to the main character disappears. They have full knowledge of the conversations with said main character from what was to seem to be their spirits.
Yeah.
So it's like Vigilantes is interesting. It's with that, and then like I like I said, I can't really speak to like soul manip in general because that would be like heavily something that like episode would discuss.
I understand. You want to stay tight about it for obvious reasons.
So, as far as I'm aware, Overhaul doesn't do anything to the soul, right? That's just biological.
I could probably speak to that. Overhaul's ability is entirely like physical, yeah. Just the body.
Overhaul gets his hands back for the final arc, right? If I remember correctly.
No, he did not. Nope.
No?
Nope, he doesn't do squat in the final arc. He gets he's released from prison. His arms are still gone. Nagant brings him with her for her attempted assassination / capture of Izuku, whichever would have worked. And when she realizes she can't win, she shoots him, like Overhaul from the distance. Izuku outspeeds the bullet, saves him, and then tells him that he's gonna, because like at this point Overhaul's broken. He wants to see his adoptive father, the head of the mafia, and he is told that the only way he's gonna get to do that is if he apologizes directly to Eri. But later in the final few chapters, they decide they don't want to risk any more trauma to her. She's finally starting to overcome it. So instead, he's permitted to see the his adoptive father, and his adoptive father basically disowns him, but tells him that he's going to. It's basically his punishment. It's not a complete disownment because but like no, like they acknowledge Overhaul was in the wrong 100%. Because I don't know if you remember, so as a kid he was adopted. I don't want to keep this too long. He was a kid. He was adopted by the head of a mafia. The head of the mafia was Eri's grandfather.
Yes.
And Chisaki, or Kai Chisaki, I think was his, I can't remember. Chisaki is part of Overhaul's real name. He is very grateful to his dad, or to his adoptive father, but he felt like the mafia was kind of like inadequate.
Yeah.
They're stuck in their old ways, and he wanted to go big. And it was kind of like his way of seeing how he's repaying his adoptive father. And he basically uses his own quirk to put his adoptive father in a kind of like a self-induced coma, with plans to bring him out of it once he had like developed and perfected the quirk removal bullets by using Eri.
Yeah.
And he thought in his sick mind that his adoptive father would thank him in the end. And in reality, all he was doing was child abuse to the most extreme. Eri basically was taken out of custody from her mom after she accidentally killed her father with her quirk.
So what you told me is that there is enough reason to have Mr. Freeze versus Overhaul.
I've never heard that one before. Never heard that one. I can kind of get it. Never heard of it.
You're welcome.
So long as Mr. Freeze kills him, I need Mr. Child Abuser to die horribly.
Overhaul was a pussy villain anyways. Couldn't commit. Incomplete. Shigaraki knew better. Alright. Fair enough. So, let me read some comments here. I feel like they're going to make Shigaraki win because he's more popular. They might even find some weird way to give him soul manipulation so he could kill him. Well, we'll see on that one, Azura. But I mean, they have to
the
argue.
weird thing is that that Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't scale that high, and they're not that fast, and Mahito is sure as shit not that fast.
So,
That's always been my problem. Is just that he gets horribly speed stomped.
So this is where it gets kind of weird, because where do you scale Kenjaku? Because the author stated, I think in both the guidebook and in an interview, that Mahito would be a tough fight for Kenjaku.
You know what? I'll specify what that means. So, actually, it's more so says that, without like speaking to if that's correct or incorrect, the full statement is something along the lines of, he would struggle if he were to try and fight and take control of Jogo and Mahito at the same time.
Oh, okay, so it's both of them at the same time?
Yes, whether or not you want to argue that. The statement is extremely not vague per se. It's kind of not specific. So maybe you could make the I don't know if you want to go with, maybe he's referring to Jogo's power and Mahito's regeneration or anything. I'll leave that up to you.
It would have to be Mahito carrying his weight, because I remember that the author says in the manga that if Todo and Yuji, when they fought the Cursed Spirit in their training arc, I forgot what the forest one's called. If the forest guy had been replaced with Jogo, the author said that Jogo would have died. So I'm just
okay. So I'll elaborate on that too.
I saw the comment, bro. That's what he said.
It's sort of. He's saying that Jogo would have died to the same amount of
damage.
Black flashes that Hanami took.
Yeah.
Which is to say, Hanami is more durable than Jogo, but like
Yes.
Jogo and Hanami are weird. They share kind of like a rock paper scissors Pokemon kind of thing because like Jogo is less durable than Hanami, but also has like an elemental advantage over Hanami, which is acknowledged in that same statement.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, that also kind of depends on how you want to take that, Zim, because like Jogo one tapped like Nanami, Maki, and her grandfather, and at least two of them should be stronger than Yuji.
To be fair.
Black flashes go bird.
To be fair, they were all tired as shit from fighting Dagon.
Bro, don't even act
Why,
like Jogo wouldn't have stomped
after
him out
Koji-
anyway.
Like,
After
no,
Koji
I'm
came
not
in
even
and fucking like
kidding.
carried the fight.
I'm not even kidding. Like, Nanami was like really tired from all the fish, and then I can't remember his name. What the Naobito, right? The speed guy.
Yeah.
It's explicitly stated that like losing his arm to the domain cut his speed, if I'm not mistaken, by half. Like they mentioned that like under normal circumstances he would have been able to react to Jogo, but like the loss of his arm just made him too slow.
They were weakened. Giving that feat to Jogo is like saying Kratos beat Kronos. Not even close, because Jogo
I don't
would have
think
still
that,
stomped
that
him.
is that is not necessarily a fair comparison. I do think Jogo's showing there is valid. What I'm saying is that like they were definitely not at their peak.
Yeah. 'Cause then
It
Jogo
wasn't
would have to
basically
use
starting
two
at a
hands.
Well,
clean.
how are we gonna go about Mahito's ability after he couldn't even put down Nobara?
So that's just 'cause-
Okay, that is BS. That is total BS.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
no.
you.
I
No,
read the manga, and they
No, you heard it here. Cyber agrees with me. Gege is a fucking hack who doesn't know how to write or pay.
Wow, just really shoving those fucking words into his mouth.
Okay, listen. Nobara surviving to me in that moment was two things. One, it was kind of a hype moment, but then my brain worked for a moment. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. The
No,
destruction
you remember she's not a good character.
I think it was just her, right? I don't dislike her character. I more so have the issue of
She has no character.
she has character. It's just we saw the destruction
Yes,
reached
no,
to her
it is.
brain. How the
Not
flying
true.
hell did she survive damage to the brain?
So, in fairness to Gege here, because I read the manga for my Fisto and Northstar matchup. So in the manga, we don't see the blood splatter go beyond her face. So as far as we know, it was just a surface level wound. As far as
In the
Wait.
Cyber could probably correct me on this, but in the anime, don't they just fully show like a small scene of her eye flying out of her fucking head?
That's in the manga too. No, Zim.
surface level.
So the anime is a little bit more blatant, but I'm gonna want you to reread those chapters where it happens. You see her face swell, her eye goes flying out, and then you get a pan shot of her body on the floor as it's, and then like you see the eye hole,
Yeah.
and like there's nothing there.
Well,
It's deep.
Okay, so to clarify, he touches her face. Her eye does like shoot off, and like obviously a portion of her face goes missing basically. But there's nothing to suggest that. I don't even think you see bone or skull. I don't even think you see bone on the ground around her. It's just blood. Like
I think the implication was that she took some brain damage from that, or should have.
I mean, yeah, she absolutely should have taken some brain damage, 100%. But like, how much of that brain damage is just a concussion because her fucking face exploded, and how much of it is Mahito's thing? Also, Cyber Raito says hello.
Let's be very clear here. It should have been a fatal wound.
So to be as fair here, Mahito's power is heavily depending on how long he touches you. Unfortunately, because he just taps Toto's arm and it just costs him his hand. Although I think Toto chops off his limb, I believe. I have to reread that.
Toto does in fact chop off his limb.
Yes, because I believe I remember that one.
Mahito used a 0.2 version of his domain, which he ripped off of Gojo, and it was a limited contact. It was like 0.2 seconds of contact.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it was only the arm, and then Toto decided to chop it off, which was, I mean, a good tactical move on his end.
Yeah.
Toto's hype. Okay. Here's my thing. Same thing with the not 1-to-1 with the Nobara situation. Toto's arrival in Shinjuku, I feel, was kind of poorly written. Poorly written, and then the final few chapters try to wave off a reason as to why that occurrence happened. I'm sorry, but the whole oh yeah, we can't tell Yuji because Suguna will know is complete bullshit, because Yuji knew about every single other plan and somehow Suguna didn't know.
So I'm not sure about that, because I don't think Yuji knew about the Gojo plan, about using Gojo's dead body, only for Yuta to fumble like
he knew about what's his name? Higurama. He knew about the Judgment plan. Sukuna did not know about that in advance.
To be fair, the Judgment should have worked wonders. That was bullshit.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but
no. Well, why don't we go further? Because the Devil Log technique, Jacob's Ladder, that didn't work.
Okay, to be fair to Jacob's Ladder, it didn't work the first time. It was always a bum technique. Anyway.
Oh god, tell Devil that. Click that, send it to Devil.
Devil's just fucking right now, just turning in his sleep. Someone's insulting Jacob's Ladder. Okay, so to be fair, just talking about Mahito's abilities for a little bit, since we can't get too much information on the matchup, although we'll talk about that. So Mahito does have domain expansion, does have reverse curse technique that should be on par with at least Gojo and Sukuna. I don't know if it'd be superior to Higa.
Funny enough, Mahito never uses reverse curse technique because he doesn't have to. I mean, he probably logically should have it. Most curses, if not all, do, and he is an unregistered special grade. But in character, he doesn't really use it because, well, he doesn't need to.
Well, so he would still have access to it because all curses or at least all special grade curses are stated to be able to do it. Because it's not weird for them to do it. The reason sorcerers don't have it, and I'm sure you guys remember, is it's weird for normal sorcerers to learn reverse curse technique, but curses already have natural access to it by virtue of just being curses.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So
like I said, I don't disagree with the notion that he would have it. It's just, as I said, in series he never uses reverse curse technique.
Yeah, so he should have it. So I guess it's going to depend on what Shigaraki's given. But to be clear, this is an AP and speed stomp in Shigaraki's favor. Because even if you don't believe in Lightspeed My Hero Academia, I'd be very surprised if there's no massively hypersonic speed scaling for Shigaraki.
Oh no, they would literally scales like lightning.
I need to go.
Literally fires lightning in the
I need to go, but I will say I'm glad you two enjoyed Ghost Rider Spawn. It seems.
Oh yeah, it was a fun death battle. Definitely a great fight. Definitely.
I find it to be a little bit of a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
I have my own.
Oh, absolutely.
I have my own issues with Kratos Asura that are different, and I have my own issues with the Kratos Asura that are different for the most part than you both. It's more of an animation.
We have issues with the animation, absolutely. But
I also, the only thing I'll say to the, I also don't like some stuff in the post analysis. But one thing I blatantly do not like, and this has nothing to do with it's a scaling thing, but it has nothing to do with the belief of scaling. The Helios hand blocking should not have been the argument. If you're going to argue scaling to Helios, I see no other better candidate than using Hercules. Hercules, if you check game footage, there is one move with the head of Helios you can do, and the way Hercules is programmed to react is that his body or his model will move after the flash occurs, so it can't be an aim dodge. It would be much better to use that. Hermes is a meh to me. Hermes can react to it too, but Hermes is not a good visual cell if you're trying to argue FTL or Tiger, because, well, Hermes doesn't move that fast in cutscenes or for long distance.
Well, he's also supposed to be injured during that scene as well.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying Hercules I would find to be the best. He has an actual in-game scripted move. Well, not scripted, but you know what I mean, program, how the AI responds. is that it's after the Flash. So which is the
So
best?
I don't have a scaling question for the next episode, but do you know what animation style it's going to be? Is it going to be another sprite, or is it going to be something else?
The next time, I actually do not know.
Alright. Well, Cyber,
It's too early.
since you gotta take off, it was nice talking to you. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. We're just gonna
I-
speculate.
I enjoyed your stream, by the way.
Thank you, Cyber. Appreciate it.
All right, sorry for hijacking,
Now you
but adios. Have a good one.
Alright. Laters. So, assuming.
I want to be very clear about this. I don't rep either of these two. I don't care who wins.
I don't really have a dog in this fight, technically, because I think Mahito was trash. I don't think his power is all that lethal. Because, as Kyle pointed out, Nobara did survive, and that's kind of fucking ass.
Oh, I didn't fucking ask him if Overhaul fucking can like bring back Shigaraki's shit, or if that's like an ability he can't do.
Oh yeah, I'm back for just one reason, like two. I would highly recommend after watching this, if you ever, I don't know if did you ever stream Ghost Rider Lobo?
I don't think
Yes.
so. No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah, you did when we did casual going through Death Battle streams.
Oh yeah, that was like a fucking 4-hour compilation of non-stop death battles. Yeah, I remember that one. That was a fun day.
I rewatched it at work today because work was boring. Kind of. It was really good, honestly. I liked it quite a bit. Second thing is more of a rant. Here, let me just drop this in general. I'll let you both take a quick look.
Alright.
Not me ranting, more so some stuff in here seems
Alright, I did? Okay, thank you, Oscar, I did. Yeah, we'll get to the comments, in a moment. Hang on. What the hell? Bayonetta's back? When did she ever leave?
Apparently there was like I think it's a reference to like, there's apparently a leak or something that she's getting like new info or something in the soon. Anyways, you're free to read the CRT. I have looked at it.
This is Daniel CRT. I can tell just by the writing. Who made it? What's the guy's name?
I don't know.
No. I mean, like, what's their forum name? Well, actually, you probably don't know off the top of your head. That's probably Daniel. That's probably my boy. I'll have to read that later.
Oh wait, I know who this is. Let's see. Aesir. Wait, 1C.
Oh, Comic Gal.
Oh, Comic Gal made it?
Wait. Isn't aren't they rescaled to 1C, or am I mistaken, or is it low 1C?
It might be scaled low 1C.
Oh, okay.
I know that writing. That has to be Daniel's writing. I'll ask Daniel if he worked on it later. Go on though. You
don't see how this is 1C.
So Daniel's a friend of mine, but I also know that Daniel likes to give a lot more credit to the higher end scaling than I think is there personally. So I'm fairly confident these are his.
You mean
writers.
counting the diamonds on the fucking book when they're not even true diamonds? They just oversect each other.
Look, I like the guy a lot. He's a good friend, but man, the diamonds argument was a rough sell because you don't even know which diamonds are fair to count and which ones aren't, even with the logic. There's no.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. There are 4 main ones, and then there are lines that oversect each other. You can tell which ones are the actual full diamonds.
Anyways, I do need to be going, but I guess before I go, do either of you have knowledge on Black Lagoon or Cowboy Bebop?
Oh, Kyle!
I've seen both of them.
Who do you think wins Spike Revy?
I think Revy should win, but that's also the fact that I thought Cowboy Bebop was boring as dog shit.
So I haven't gone through Cowboy Bebop.
No.
Don't even fight him on this, Cyber. Don't hurt yourself like that. Don't do that to yourself. Just let it go.
Wait. Let me ask one question.
All right, go ahead.
If that's your take on Cowboy Bebop, did you also watch the Netflix show or no?
God, no. If I didn't enjoy the anime, which is supposed to be the definitive best version of it, why would I watch the live action?
Thank God.
Why do you guys talk about the Fury series anyways? Trigun's better than both of them.
Wait, what did you say?
I have not seen Trigun.
I was gonna say, why are you guys talking about Inferior series when Trigun's better than both of them?
You know,
Look, if it makes you feel any better, I really like Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo is great. I'm going through. I'm going to start Trigun soon. It has a matchup that I might be. I know you have your own FF16 takes, and Barnabas is not the most ideal character, but I have not found a single matchup that I'm okay with Barnabas. And then someone brought up Legato from Trigun. And I'm like, I mean, just from the description.
Legato. Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, it kind of clicked immediately for me in my head. I'm just like, it's not perfect, but it makes sense, and it's not super horribly scaled, at least in direct showings. I mean, Legato has a really good feat from what I've been told, but Barnabas has the whole splitting the sea thing. The one thing though that like Trigun seems to be there was like okay, so like Trigun has a few different manga besides the main one, right?
Yeah.
And in like one of the side mangas, there's like a thing for like higher dimensionality slash like universal scaling for Vash. But one thing that is no longer accessible is that the author apparently had some forum posts talking about like that are used for the BSB pages that get them to 5D. Nobody bothered to web archive them, which I have no idea why that's the case. I don't inherently think they're fake in the sense of, oh, people faked them. Because if I recall, there was a CRT to upgrade them.
The problem is that even if they were real at one point, because no one archived them, you can't prove that they truly existed.
Exactly.
So it becomes inconclusive to use them.
Exactly. So it's like unusable. It's like, I don't know. It's weird to me. I understand, like, maybe in the moment you don't think to archive, but something that big, if you're going to use it for, like, versus, totally should web archive that.
Oh, that's kind of. I mean, that sucks. That's kind of funny. So actually, Cyber, since before you leave, since Kyle was going to ask you, I guess what he wanted to ask you is, does Overhaul's ability counter Shigaraki's earlier on in the story? I guess because
no. Like, can he use Overhaul to heal, or is it just destruction?
Wait. So I'm not understanding this question. One more time.
Can the ability Overhaul be used to heal oneself, or is it just destruction?
It's reconstruction and destruction. So, Overhaul uses it all the time to heal himself, and it's how he, unfortunately, makes the quirk bullets. He kills Eri, destroys her body, takes her blood, reconstructs her. I mean, I said he's a child abuser, and I mean it. He's a child abuser, and he deserves every bad thing that's happens to him. And
all he did was turn her body parts into biological weapons of destruction. Come on, haven't we all had a bad tooth?
Anyway, I'm not sure. Is the question because of Decay's true nature, which I hate that retcon. But anyways, I mean, I really don't see how that affects the Decay is retconned at the end of the series to be a modified version of Overhaul that was given to a young Tomura Shigaraki.
What?
I hate. You didn't know that?
I'm basically just asking because if the argument's going to come down, like if Shigaraki if it's going to come down to how much damage he can sustain before he dies, then you could probably argue he could just heal back shit.
Wait,
I'm not aware of that. No.
You weren't? Oh gosh.
Wait, so how does Tomura still have his quirk? I thought All For One would take quirks and then bestow them to other people. How does Tomura still have his quirk then?
Wait, so are you? Did you like read the end of the series?
No, I guess if I care enough, I probably should. But we'll see what happens. I have my own to worry about.
I mean, you wanted me to spoil you really quick? Me like saying what happens at the end of the series is literally not breaking.
I mean, you can. At this point, I might as well just wait for the anime to finish and then just binge the entire anime and catch up.
So the last thing I remember being spoiled to me was All For One ultimately like forced Shigaraki's parents to hate him, or I guess his dad, and Shigaraki was a puppet the whole time for All For One's plan. That's the last thing I was like spoiled on.
That's actually part of what I just mentioned. So that was actually part of that whole sequence. aka the worst chapter in the series, in my opinion.
No,
Anyways.
it fucking sounds garbage.
Yeah, it's a really bad chapter. I think it was 418. Really garbage chapter. I do need to be going. But the final season is going to come out from, if I recall, end of this year. Vigilantes is getting an anime before it.
So, so, so I've
This
started.
episode will be more running off the hype with Vigilantes, to be honest.
That's fair.
So, is there anything in Vigilantes that's going to affect the matchup, or is that just like a fun little thing that's coming out? It's just getting animated.
I mean, I can't really speak to it. Vigilantes has its, if for what it's worth, Vigilantes is a prequel, in the sense that like characters are like Aizawa is probably like weaker in like Vigilantes, and Vigilantes has like some low scale feats. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea that like, and I mean, again, this is literally not breaking anything, but like Shiggy is pretty much like close to top 2 in his like power and speed at the end of like MHA. Like probably would just upscale from anything you can find in Vigilantes.
Well, yeah, because I would assume that at the end, before Deku loses his power, him and Shiggy are at like the pinnacle of strength. I would assume.
I mean, they literally are.
Yeah.
I would just suggest like double checking Vigilantes if it interests you.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Its pacing gets a little bad towards the end, but it's honestly, I feel like it has moments that are even like far better written than the main series.
Yeah.
My only complaint is Poppy. One of the character designs I do not like, but it's not at least not as bad as Fire Force's ending. Okay, I have no issue with Fire Force's main ending. It's literally the sequence right before the main ending that's just some of the worst writing I've ever seen from Okubo. Probably Okubo's worst writing.
The part where he's recreating the universe over and over without the antagonist knowing.
No, not that part. So it's what's her name? Tamaki. So Tamaki, is Tamaki. So it's like it's her fight with so like after Dragon has his big fight with Arthur, which is my favorite part of this entire series. It's the best fight in the series. Third fight specifically, the one in the moon. Right after that, you get like doppelgangers of some of the main characters show up, right? And you have fights that occur with them. The doppelganger that fights Tamaki is the doppelganger of like the assassin guy who like keeps losing to her because he like her whole curse thing with like her cloak. Huh?
Oh no, sorry, I was saying about someone who in the chat.
Like one of the characters in the series is cursed to lose her clothing, which is stupid. But anyways, every time that happens, that assassin guy loses because he can't stand the perversion. Anyways, his copy or his doppelganger fights her, and the stupid thing happens where like the human collective or human unconscious collective unconscious is like merging with the world, right? And like she decides to embrace her curse thing instead of rejecting it, and in a way it's a Okubo protesting and like against like people who have been like for the entire run of the series complaining about Tamaki's fan service stuff, like in general fan service. So what ends up happening is a mother is like complaining about Tamaki, and her son embraces the lewdness going on and saying it's like fine. And the human collective unconscious, it literally erases his mother from existence so that she's never existed in a form. It can be compared to basically a form of protest. It's basically like Okubo breaking the fourth wall and basically giving the middle finger to everyone who's been complaining about like the underage characters having like very bad fan service. And the son is allowed to survive because he embraced the idea. And Tamaki beats the doppelganger by embracing it too. It is excuse my language. I should not be like saying this out loud at this hour. It's like 1 a.m. where I'm at. It's shit writing because it's like trying to justify basically.
Look, I don't want to say anything, but it's just like it's Japanese media for fucking shonen. You've
I-
seen
no,
naked
I get it.
underage girls all the fucking time since like the 60s.
I get it. I get it. I don't. I
Shouldn't
get
just
the
be growing a
demographic.
conscience now. You've seen
Yeah.
Goku's cock when he was 5.
It's not a conscious. My issue is Okubu trying to take to do the fourth wall thing because it just does not work. It's basically him telling "fuck you, fan base."
I always kind of wondered why there was a girl walking around in her fucking bra the whole
She,
time.
she has a curse. She has a curse.
Of course she does. That coward.
It-
She should have just said he wanted the fan service. What a coward.
It's basically the justification for it in the series.
So is there a? Are we going to get Are we going to get Maka versus Ruby soon, or is
Okay, so that
are they still
matchup.
are they deciding
No.
when they want to say that Maka
No.
wins?
So I mean, we know that matchup's confirmed because of the Kickstarter, but that one's probably not going to come out till Halloween. I like obviously we have no confirmation on when, but that seems like a Halloween matchup just off Maka alone.
I don't know anything about that
Yeah.
matchup. All I'll say is this: whenever it drops, expect a weekly to spew BS, like he always does related to the matchup.
Sounds about right.
Look, I'm just going to tell everyone this right now. You don't need Fire Force for Maka to win.
Uh huh.
Alright, time to dip.
Take care, Cyber.
It's
Peace.
like literally almost 2 a.m. and I gotta go to the gym at like 9 a.m.
We live in the same
How do you-
state, Cyber. I know what time it is. You can take care.
I'm gonna drop a brick.
Alright.
Anyways,
Take care, Cyber. Always a pleasure. So Neiman took off, but let me read some of the comments here because we were too busy talking Cyber. Did we get an answer for if Dante could win? I basically said for now inconclusive, but depends on where you scale Dante. Down, I lost the fight, but I know Spawn won. Yeah, Spawn won because of hacks. The problem I have is Mahito first. This is domain expansion. Out of that, it shouldn't be a problem for Shigaraki. So Mahito's been out. Yeah. So just to clarify, Shigaraki only loses in a domain expansion scenario, but
Wait. Has there ever been a scenario where a stronger person has just broken out of the domain?
no. Oh, wait.
He might just
Wait,
the
hang on.
domain might activate. He might just instantly fucking break it.
Okay, so the only example I can think of is Sukuna tells Mahito basically to fuck off and it breaks the domain from the inside. But there is another way to break the domain, and that would be damaging Mahito enough. So I don't know if he hurts Mahito in order to do that. Oh, hello, so now. That being said, it shouldn't matter. Because in order for Shigaraki to survive the domain expansion, he would have to understand immediately what the domain expansion does and how it works. Because again, any curse technique is guaranteed to hit in a domain expansion.
Well,
as long as
this
you
is
don't-
why. This is why I wanted to get the answer outside. Was just like if he just has a passive hate barrier around his soul, then that could buy him enough time.
No, because Gojo's barrier doesn't work.
It's not protecting his soul itself like a
So,
shield around his soul.
Cursed energy and cursed techniques, I believe, are stated to instinctively affect the soul in certain situations. Gojo's barrier should be doing that as well, because it's just a passive thing that's on the whole time. And in domain expansions, it bypasses his barrier. And so, regarding simple domains, because I actually had to look into this one for obviously for the matchup. What do you think a simple domain does?
Basically all the benefits of a normal domain, except that it's smaller and out and open.
Okay, so yes and no. So what a simple domain is, and because again, like I have to look into these for the matchup. It's a mental domain with nothing inside of it that sucks any curse technique Oh no, that's domain amplification. Sucks it into the empty domain area, basically. Simple domain's a little different, but it should have the same principles. So technically, whenever they do domain amplification in simple domain, they're basically sucking in the domain curse technique into a void, basically. Simple domain is only used by Gojo and Sukuna. That's actually wrong.
Simple domains also used by the blue-haired chick and her teacher.
Yeah. But basically the point I'm getting at is that the barriers for JJK might be different enough to where just a barrier around your soul wouldn't stop the domain expansion, and there should be no reason that should work, unless Shigaraki has something else up their sleeve. One of the things that can happen in the case Minato uses domain may be able to bait him destroying another soul and its replacement instead, or just when he's able to touch him. Yuji didn't know about Gojo Yuta body swap. Man was improvising after the Higurama plan failed. So, based on what Cyber lightly implied, there seems to be an argument floating around that the vestiges of power left behind by people may or may not be souls. If that's the case, I think Shigaraki's capable of destroying the One for All vestiges. And if that's the case, that would be the argument they'd argue for him killing Mahito.
So they're basically arguing that the quirks that are left over from each user, and when he takes them, he's basically taking a part of their soul. And if that's the case, and he's able to destroy those, and he's able to technically destroy souls, and that means all you'd have to do is just argue AP Stomp plus soul hacks.
Yeah, a lot of JJK matchups really come down to, has the domain expanded? No. JJK character loses.
Well, this is where I get the shits with a lot of JJK fights, where it's just like, you could say that a character is any type of speed, but someone will go, what about domain? It's like, fuck your domain. If a character is quick enough, domain expansion shouldn't fucking matter. They should be able to hit them before the domain activates.
Again, the problem is that you're assuming foresight for the character. If someone just yells out domain expansion, unless they're like a competent fighter who's just like, I don't care what you're doing, prepare to die, they're gonna do like a
like Hayo.
Like Hayo, yes, exactly. What a peculiar assessment, Kyle. Hang on. There we go. Cyber goes to the gym, apparently. Thank God Spawn won. Yeah, I mean, again, we had no beef in this fight. Shigaraki can't affect space-time. He cannot, but domains are technically not space-time areas. They're mental spatial dimensions. Mental landscapes, if you will.
The easiest way to explain it is that they're not creating anything, they're not creating universes, they're just taking you to the land inside of their mind that already pre-existed before their birth.
Hang on, let me see if I can pull up the guidebook scan real quickly, since we're already here talking about
That's
it.
basically how Zim explained it to me.
Well, yeah,
this is the reason why me and Zim come to the conclusion domain expansions do not correlate to AP.
Here we go. The innate domain, forming the basis of curse techniques. The space that humans possess from birth that serves as a mental landscape, an embodiment of one's heart, is referred to an innate domain. Sorcerers and non-sorcerers alike possess these. However, before you say that's an innate domain and not a domain expansion, we can look at the guidebook here. Expansion. The act of manifesting a curse technique applied innate domain through curse energy is domain expansion. So it's just a mental landscape that everyone has when they're born. So to explain a domain expansion more clearly, it is a mental landscape that you basically carve in your curse technique. In an equalized fight, sure, Spawn has the hacks to beat Zerathos. Problem is huge AP difference between the two. The AP difference wouldn't matter because Spawn's survivability was just absurd.
Well, it wasn't even just that. They basically just said by bringing up Time Stop that, like, even if Zerathos had way better AP, he was never going to touch him because Spawn could just play keep away with all of his powers.
Yeah. I thought how Ryder killing Spawn when he just escaped the distance erasure and how he has transmutation. Yep. Cursed energy is spiritual. Anything involving cursed energy is spiritual and physical. That's a fair argument. Simple domain is only used by Gojo and Sukuna. It's like creating domain expansion in small radius, like small circle to preserve cursed energy and make the domain more lethal, right?
Simple domains were also shown by the blue-haired swordsman girl and her teacher.
No, there are tons of people who use simple domains. It's not just a technique done by Gojo and Sukuna.
I think the way they explained it is that it's like a basic technique as well.
Hang on. Trying to see if the guidebook mentions simple domains, so I can just pull up its page real quickly. Here we go. New Shao style gave rise to the domain of the week. Let me see here. The founder of the Heian era, or the Heian era Jiu-Jitsu disciple Nu Shao style, devised simple domain in order to protect the disciples from evil, crafty curse users and curse spirits. Purposely sharing the technique outside the school was banned via a binding vow, but stealing through looking seemed to have not been included in the binding vow. So basically, all a simple domain is in order to have a domain expansion, you have to be at the pinnacle of fighting and at the pinnacle of your ability. There are a lot of sorcerers who don't have domain expansions. Simple domains, just let them not get insta-killed. So domain clash the battle of the mind? Not exactly. Durability is the writer's strongest point. If you read Heaven on Fire issue, the one above all says Zerathos is the one needed to kill Zerathos. Then Zedekio hits him with the Excalibur hit, which he takes head on. Zedekio says only God can kill a Spirit of Vengeance. Yeah, but they point out that that's not entirely, that there's some cases against that. Again, it's comics. You can argue that some things are just wrong or some things are just outdated. It's not unheard of or unreasonable to assume that
It's not that it's wrong. It's just that lore gets expanded upon. Because again, the Ghost Rider is like 60 years old. They have to find other ways to beat him down.
Oh fuck! I literally have a picture for the fucking the Jogo thing I was talking about. Hanami is super tough. Jogo is technically stronger, considering how their elemental types match up, than Hanami. However, if he were ever to receive 5 of Yuji's Black Flash attacks on top of Toto's Cursed Energy Playful Cloud Strike, as Hanami has at that point, he would die instantly.
Yeah, so it's basically what Cyber said. She has higher defense, but he has stronger attack.
Yeah, but I didn't realize I had the fucking picture in my fucking private Discord server. Oh, here's another thing for domain expansion. This is the first time a domain expansion I think occurs in the series, or it's the second time actually, because this is against fucking what's his face, Mahito. It's an area constructed with cursed energy. Once trapped inside, all hits are fatal and cannot be evaded. It's also a technique I was never able to master. Most likely, this cursed technique that messes with one's soul has a condition. He must touch with his target with the palm of his hand while in his base form. But if I'm in his domain where I'm helpless against his attacks, that means I am now literally in the palm of his hands. Yeah. So we'll see what they argue for the barrier. There are counter techniques to domain expansions within the series, so it's not like you can't argue against it. I'm just curious what people would argue, because as far as I know, that barrier should not be enough. But we'll see what they argue for. At any rate, solid death battle overall. I think especially after the last one, this was a much needed. Well, we all use the term palate cleanser, but I said it first, so whatever. Fuck you guys.
Well, let's have a stab in the dark about the next fight. I think Shigaraki will win, but if he doesn't win, no fucking skin off my nose. Who do you think wins?
I think Shigaraki takes most of the categories, but if they don't have a way to put Mahito down, Domain Expansion Mahito would just win. So my money's on Shigaraki. I think Shigaraki 3 out of 5 times because he should be faster and stronger, bare minimum, because JJK's kind of trash when it comes to actual AP and speed.
Well, actually, by that point in speed, what do you think they're going to give him?
That's what I'm curious on.
Because, like, the blood technique being, what, Mach 2 or Mach 3 was super impressive during the Yuji fight with Chozo.
It's not Mach 3, it's technically Mach 1. Kyle, that wasn't the time to get quiet.
Right. I'm gonna be real with you. I specifically remember My Hero being faster than the speed of sound, even like during the first arc.
Okay, so to be clear, the guidebook just says that it shoots it faster in speed than the speed of sound, which would be Mach speed. Because to be faster than the speed of sound is to be at Mach speed.
At least over Mach 1.
Yes.
Which is not great.
No, it is not. Because then later on, characters get blitzed by Mach 3. Unless you want to argue Kashimo's lightning. But to be honest, Mahito wouldn't even scale to Mach 3. Fuck, Mahito scaling to Mach 1 is kind of debatable. Because Yuji could
This is the weird thing. The weird thing is that you wouldn't even be able to, with a straight face, scale Mahito to anyone during the Culling games.
As far as I know, yeah, that you wouldn't be able to. Unless, again, you want to take the author's statement to suggest that he could fight Kenjaku. At that point, then you could scale him to Kenjaku since Kenjaku doesn't get stronger throughout the series. But that would be a very generous interpretation, no doubt. I can just end the stream there. We're not watching the Death Battle anymore. At least that one for Discord. Yuha versus Kaguya when? Pretty sure it's just a win for Yuha, even if you believe they scale to the same level.
Yuha has better matchup.
Yeah, but you want to give it a quick weigh-in? Yuha versus Kaguya?
Kaguya has no real way to get past the Almighty.
Yeah. Which,
like, Yuha just out-hacks it super badly.
Yuha has better matchups like what? Kyle, quick throw a Yuha matchup out there.
From what I heard from Zim, there's one person from Star Wars and there's another person from Bionicle.
Makuta would win. Nah, he'd win. I don't care if people scale Bionicle to country level, he'd win.
Honestly, the best fight you're probably gonna get for Yuha is if you put it against Hal Asakura from Shaman King.
Does he bypass the Almighty or something close to it?
He has basically, because he has the Grand Spirit or the Great Spirit, he basically has every power within Shaman King, and anything that's shown in Flowers and in all the spin-offs, he would technically have that power too. And there's some like time shenanigans and stuff like that.
If anyone asks me Yuha versus Fisto and Northstar, I'm just going to say the Divine Fisto and Northstar adapts to the Almighty because it can adapt infinitely with infinite potential. Just going to drop that no limits fallacy on everybody.
You think I can get away with that by saying how did Star Platinum win?
Fucking Jotaro versus Yuha? Huh, your power. It's a similar power to Star Platinum. What the
Never
fuck?
shown that power ever.
Dio over Heaven probably has a good case for beating Yuha. I know, like there's like nuance there, but I think the World over Heaven has a good case for beating Yuha.
Now, what about Adam? I like that Almighty. It's mine now.
Yuha, the Almighty lets me turn all powers to my side. What a neat power. I'll take it. What? Yuha versus Rin, original versus new gen. I have no idea what you're talking about, Azra, because Rin has nothing similar to that. I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, no. I think I don't know. We'll see how the matchup goes. I kind of hope it's 2D. I think a 3D fight with those characters is gonna be kind of fucking ass.
The only way you would do it if they got the fucking assets from the games, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just not like.
But they'd have to custom make Shigaraki's to match the post shit for My Hero, wouldn't they?
Probably.
Because they've only got the pre thing for Shigaraki.
I think they should just pixel it. I think it should be a pixel fight because that also gives them the most freedom to have the decay abilities going off.
Make it a 2D drawn fight.
The guy who did Bowser vs. Eggman is supposed to be working on another matchup this season. I wonder if that's the matchup they're working on. Actually,
Ooh, that would look really fucking good.
Say fucking Peak, bringing back Peak once again. But yeah. So overall, I think final thoughts. We don't really have a dog in this fight, but I think it was a pretty solid death battle overall. It was definitely better than the last one, and it was still better than fucking Giorno versus Ren.
Yeah, especially because they got that one wrong by even their own research.
So I think Giorno versus Ren is probably going to end up being either the worst or second worst death battle this season. It's really going to depend on where you want to put Kratos versus Azura. But every other death battle has been pretty solid. I mean, I don't know if they're right or wrong, but it's been pretty solid. All right. I think we'll go to
Just from an animation perspective, like those two matches fucking sucked, and it hurts more when it's just like people paid for those.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we're gonna be calling it there for today. I'll talk to Devil about if he wants to stream this week. We'll see if we can make that happen. But beyond that, just a standard week as usual. Maybe I'll be able to get a video out or two, depending. No, definitely not two. Maybe I'll be able to get a video out. I do plan to do a little bit of an anniversary stream on the 10th because apparently that'll be the 10-year anniversary of the channel. I don't have anything planned, so you know, don't expect too much crazy stuff going on there. But yeah, we'll probably watch. We'll probably either watch some old videos or I don't know, just have like a chill little live stream. You know, bit of a sort of like what are they called? Retrospective, 10-year retrospective, something like that. But yeah. So, with that said, Fist of North Burrs in One Piece for 10 years. Rocky and Alice, you haven't been asking for that one for 10 years. It's only been 3.
Sure, I wouldn't mind trying to find a matchup for Blackbeard one day.
Well, that's going to depend heavily on how you want to take his power and Logia's. Because if you don't generalize it...
I hate the fact that he's a Logia. It's like, but he fucking doesn't act like a Logia. He acts like a Paramecia.
Shh. But he is a Logia.
No, it's okay, because Luffy's a Zoan type. No, the fuck he's not.
Luffy is a mythical Zoan type because he is the human fruit. Nah, actually, I think he is the human fruit now, actually. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I'd like to get a video out.
Human model fucking sun god. It's like fucking. It was so much cooler when it was just the gum fruit.
Shh! Shut your mouth. Gear 5 was peak. But yeah. So
No. I like Fifth Gear. I just don't fucking like the fact that he retconned what the fruit is called. The fruit sounds so lame.
That's fair. I can respect that opinion. But so yeah. So I was thinking Rocket House showing up. But yeah, so with that said, we'll call it there for today. Thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys on the next streamer video. Take care, everybody. Have a nice night.